everybody brief them right now, all right, boys? Let's go. Let's go.
It's an honor to be out here today.
Let's get the sloppiness out of us, get on the field and play ball for 48 minutes.
We know what this game means to not only Cheshire, but we know what this means to the people down in East Lyme.
People don't realize that somebody standing next to you could have a mental illness.
Every single game starts with us, boys. Let's go.
Even on the sports teams, not on the sports teams, in their classroom, you never know who could have a mental illness and could be thinking about taking their life.
Be the one who makes a difference. Help us reduce the stigma surrounding suicide and mental health. We lost Brian almost 7.5 years ago. He died due to suicide. My name is Paul Dagle, co-founder of the Brian Dagle Foundation. He was 19 years old, a freshman at Castleton State College. Brian was struggling with depression and some anxiety. He was being treated for that. Brian was everyone's friend. He was part of a great school and a loving family. Yet he was suffering in silence with depression. We didn't know how severe his struggles were. And in November of 2011, he took his own life to end his pain. Of course, that turned our world upside down. We had to learn how to survive that loss. It was a long struggle. As we progressed through the first couple years, we knew we had to do something. We didn't know all the signs, and there were signs there. We didn't know what they were, and we learned what they were after his loss. It was out of that knowledge that we had gained and the severe pain that we had suffered that we wanted to make sure we spread the word and started educating people on the signs of depression and suicide, because it can lead to that if it's not properly treated. It's treatable. We formed the Brian Dagle Foundation in September 2014. I don't know how much you heard, but we lost our son, 19 years old, who played lacrosse for East Lyme. We just started reaching out. We ran public mental health forums in our community of East Lyme. We felt it was very important to get the conversation going, to let the young men and women, students, understand that you have to talk about things when you're struggling.
1, 2, 3, right.
So that's when we started the Lax2Live game. We did it our second year with 3 teams. Last year we did it with 10 teams, and this year we're up to 20 high school teams across southeastern Connecticut and as far west now as Cheshire.
Academics, athletics, everything, you know, stuff builds up and it's stressful, you know, high school life is stressful.
Even though your body is in great shape, your mind isn't always in the best shape.
It's about understanding that no matter how tough of a jock you may be, mental health is an illness. There's no reason why we can't bring this to every high school in the state of Connecticut. We're willing to do that. That's what we want to do. We want to be able to educate our young men and women and their parents on the need to be able to understand when someone's struggling and get them the help that they need to be able to deal and learn to cope with their anxiety and depression, whether it's short-term or whether it's a lifelong struggle. We did a jamboree game in early spring. We had 6 teams, and one of the teams, they had a loss the year before at their high school, a suicide death. And every player in that team came up to Ann and I and took the time to thank us and shake our hands. And that's more gratification than we would ever need. If you are struggling, we urge you to ask for help. The tears aren't as often, but to this day, depending on the time of the moment, the tears will roll down my cheeks when I think that Brian's no longer with us. On the other hand, I also, more often than I cry for my son, I smile. I just remember his smile. I remember the good things that we had. As painful as his loss is, we had and loved him for 19 years, and I wouldn't give that up for anything. And this allows us to keep Brian's spirit alive.